Hello you guys, it is Chloe. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be answering all of the questions I most often get about SDSU, San Diego State University, because I do go here. I actually just recently did a takeover on the class of 2025 Instagram account. I did one of those little question boxes on the Instagram story and I got a ton of questions there. So I thought I would make a video answering just questions about San Diego State. Let's just get into the questions because I have a lot that I want to cover. First, I'm going to be answering a lot of questions about the dorm situation. Basically, the most common asked question is, can you pick your dorm? And the answer is no. San Diego State does not let you pick your dorm. It's almost completely random. I think there is a preference tab under like the housing portal or something like that where you can put your preferences on what dorm you would want to be placed in, but I'm not 100% sure that SDSU looks at that or even considers that when placing you into a room. Another question I get is, do you suggest doing random roommates or picking your roommates? And I honestly think that either one is fine. I think that people feel more confident and comfortable whenever they pick their roommates, but even if you do pick your roommate through like the Facebook page or the Instagram account, you still have a chance of not liking those people whenever you meet them in real life. Either way, it's a hit or miss. I personally did random roommates and I liked all of the people I lived with. I don't have to share a room with anyone though, so that might change it. I did random and it was great, but I know people who did random and it sucked. I know people who picked their roommate and it was great, and I know people who picked their roommates and it wasn't good. Anything you do, there is a possibility of not liking who you're with. Don't stress about trying to find a roommate before the time comes. Try to find a roommate if you really want to and you want to be for sure who you're living with. That's fine. If you can't find someone, it's not the end of the world. I know most people here did random. What freshman dorms are your favorite? As I mentioned, you could put preferences on the housing portal, and I put University Towers and South Campus Plaza. This year, I'm not in a freshman dorm. I'm in a sophomore dorm due to COVID. I don't hear a ton of complaints from South Campus people. I hear a few complaints from University Towers, but I think it's just because people are in sophomore buildings and they're still in freshman buildings. I'm not allowed to go into anyone else's dorms right now either, and I'm not allowed to go in Zura, Tenochca, I don't even know the names of the other ones. So I could not give you a full description of what they're like, what they look like, what the rooms look like. I think that University Towers and South Campus are not bad options. Even though you can't pick what dorm you're gonna be in, I think that those would be my top two because people ask me that all the time. So I'm just gonna put that out there. Do what you will with that information. What size are the beds and can they be risen? All the beds are twin XLs. I'm 5'9" and I fit on it very comfortably. Oh my gosh, I can't say it. You know what I'm saying. And you can raise your bed. Usually you can put in a service request and they can raise your bed. I personally went to, I think I got it at Home Depot maybe, just like these bed risers that you put under the four corners of your bed and then it lifts it up a little bit. It's not that much, but it's a little bit higher so I could fit more stuff underneath my bed. That's also a pro tip. Put a lot of stuff underneath your bed and try to raise your bed if you can so you can put more stuff under it. A question I get kind of often, which is weird, is there a kitchen? Each building has a community kitchen, I believe. I don't know if a lot of people use it. I don't think our community kitchen is open right now due to COVID. I feel like more people will be using it next year, but you do have that option. The next group, I guess, is like the social aspect of SDSU, and I get a lot of questions about this because I understand that people are nervous of going to a new place, making new friends, and trust me, I was too. Like I said in my previous videos, everyone's in the same situation as you. Everyone's in a new place. Everyone's trying to make friends. Just reach out to people. Put yourself out there. Don't stress too much about the friend thing. Be yourself, and if they don't like you, then move on to the next. Is SDSU cliquey? I would say no. I actually talked to some other people about this one. I don't think SDSU is really cliquey at all. I've met super nice people. Every time I meet someone for the first time, they're very accepting. Something that I did realize is that first semester, everyone was trying to find like their group and everything. And then second semester, everyone kind of found their group. And so sometimes you'll hang out with people who already have their group, and it's just kind of hard to add in to the group, if this is making sense. Like, picture a group of people people, and then there's you, and then you like try to insert yourself into the group. They'll let you hang out with them for like a night or so, or like a couple of nights, or like every other night, you know? But it's hard to like fully be in that group. I think that groups do form at SDSU, but people are willing to like take you out with them for a night or hang out with you for a day. But then you'll just have to see if that progresses into you being in the group, or if you'll just be like casual friends. Don't overthink the people that you meet at state. Everyone is just all over the place. Don't expect someone to be your best friend and give you all of their attention. That is definitely not what college friends are about. So just really don't overthink the friend thing. Is it hard to make friends if you are not in Greek life? I personally am not in Greek life, and I have met a ton of people, but I think that's also because I put myself out there. I would go around and knock on people's doors and be like,
hi, I'm Chloe and I live on the 6th floor. Oh, can I get your Snapchat, or like, do you want to hang out sometime?
And I just put myself into situations where I would meet people, and that's honestly what you have to do. I know it's scary. I know it's really uncomfortable. I met so many people from just like putting myself into situations that did make me uncomfortable as well. Reach out to people. We will be back in person by then, so you'll probably meet people in your classes. I think it will be a lot easier next year, considering a lot of things will be different because COVID is lightening up and people are getting vaccinated. I think that y'all will have it easier than us, but I still met a ton of people even without being in Greek life. Can you still get into parties if you aren't in a sorority or a fraternity? I believe there are parties where you can get into them if you are not a part of a frat or sorority. You just kind of have to look a little bit harder or be a little creative of how you're gonna get in. I personally have never tried to get into a party just because that's not really my style, but I do know people who are not in a sorority or a fraternity that have gotten in. It just kind of depends on which one you're trying to go to, but I'm not gonna say too much on that one. Are most of the people from California, and will I feel out of place as an out-of-state student? I am an out-of-state student. I am from Texas, and I honestly feel like there is a good mix of people from California and people not from California. Honestly, no matter what the distance, everyone is away from home. Everyone is still pretty much in the same situation as you. I don't think it's super different if you're from like 2,000 miles away or like 200 miles away. A lot of people are from California, but I really don't see that playing a part in anything, because no matter where you're from, people are still gonna be your friend for who you are and not from,
oh, she's from Nebraska? No thanks.
the people I'm friends with are from all over the place. We have California, Texas, Washington, New York, Idaho. I know people from so many different states, and I honestly think that's one of the coolest parts about college, because you're all just strangers who pick the same place to go to school, and now you know each other. I think that it's a really great thing, and it's not something to be scared of. Where you're from does not really matter at all. What are some good clubs to join? This year we didn't get to have any clubs or organizations or stuff like that. There were probably some, but not all of them were allowing anything, or maybe I just didn't look hard enough. I don't know. If you type in Google SDSU clubs and organizations, it'll give you a full list of all the clubs and all the organizations you can join. Now I'm going to move on to the school aspect. How is the workload? I got so many questions about workload because I posted a snap that was like,
I usually work on homework for an hour to 2 hours.
and everyone was like, what? You only work on homework for an hour? And I'm like, I know a lot of people who don't work on homework at all throughout the day. It's honestly because of online school. Recently, it's been a lot more because I have finals and trying to get all my work done. It's just different for everyone, honestly. My major is journalism media studies. I think that I have a pretty normal workload. I don't think it takes me a super long time to complete every assignment. For me, my workload isn't that much, but I know some people who have way more intense workloads. They'll be working on things for like 4 to 5 hours a day. It really just depends on your major, the classes you take, and the professors you get. So I recommend using Rate My Professor before signing up for any class. It's really gonna help you out because usually the teachers who have good ratings don't overwork you, and there will also be comments that say, they gave us so much work, or they gave us a good amount of work. Use Rate My Professor because I swear that will save you so much stress knowing that you picked good professors for yourself, because you do get to pick most of these things. Is it hard to eat healthy on campus? I would say in the middle. There are a lot of healthy options. Not all of the restaurants are open, so it's kind of harder because you have a smaller amount of restaurants to choose from, but I believe next year they'll all be open. So just look for the places where you know you can get a meal that is healthy, or just make substitutions and changes to places where it might be a little more on the unhealthy side. I think that if you work hard enough and look for the healthier options, they're definitely there. What restaurants are are on meal plan. All right, I'm gonna insert a list right here. A lot of places on campus are on meal plan except for Chipotle, which is like the saddest thing ever. I also get asked what's my favorite place on the meal plan, and I'm definitely gonna have to say Everbowl. I love Everbowl. If you don't know, they have acai bowls and it's so good. What meal plan do I suggest? Now, they're changing the meal plan for next year. The meal plan at SDSU is kind of always changing. I just think whatever suits your needs the best. For me, I eat most of my meals out on meal plan. I think that's important to consider when choosing how much money to spend per day. And most of the meals at SDSU are marked up a little bit, or maybe it's just California prices, I don't know. They are a little pricier, so I think that the more money you could get per day, the better, because you could also spend that money at the market if you have leftover at night. Just try to think of how much money you're gonna spend each day and then backtrack from there. You can also look at the menus at places and just kind of like see how much a meal would cost and then do the math. The last question I have is campus big and confusing to navigate? I think that it is pretty easy to navigate. There are parts of campus that I have discovered after wandering around, but I don't think it's so confusing to the point that I would get lost. Also, I don't go to classes, so I can't really give you an opinion on that because I do stay mostly on this side of campus where my building is, but I have tried to explore and see other parts of campus. I haven't really gotten lost. I think it's a pretty basic campus and it's not super big, but it's not small either. All right, that is all the questions I'm gonna answer right now. If you have any more questions, please comment on this video or DM me on Instagram. I'm really good at answering Instagram DMs about these things, and I'm always willing to help, and I wanna help you guys out because I always wish that I had someone to reach out to that I could just ask a quick question. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this was helpful. Feel free to ask me questions on my Instagram. Again, I'm always available. I appreciate you guys and I love you. All right, bye guys.